another friend from DOST. She's going to talk about Science for Change program, including accelerated R&D program for capacity building, research and development institutions. There we go. This has something to do with R&D. So hopefully Mary and Doka were able to answer your question. The CRADLE program is built to create synergistic academe-industry relationship to invigorate Philippines' R&D and business innovation through science and technology. And the BIST program is meant for industry program that facilitate the acquisition of strategic and relevant technologies by Filipino companies to support R&D activities. So research and development. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the head of Science for Change Program Management Office of the Undersecretary for R&D of the DOST. A big round of virtual applause to Miss Anya Yasmin Roslin.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, EJ. Good morning. Thank you, EJ, for that introduction. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, CCIP President Geraldine Estacio, our government agencies present here, DTI and DOST-ITDI, to all the speakers, CCIP members, to all the participants watching via Facebook Live, and to the organizers, Chamber of Cosmetics Industry of the Philippines, DOST-NCR, through the PAM-Amazon Cluster, Global Link. A beautiful morning to all. Okay, so today we are here as we all recognize the significance of healthy partnership and innovative approach as key drivers towards social, cultural, and economic growth. So science and technology should be our main driver when it comes to development because it provides strong basis that guide key stakeholders in addressing societal concerns like food security, hunger, poverty, job generation, disasters, and climate change, among others. So we at the DOST believe that research leads innovation, and innovation propels sustainable economic growth. So we want innovation to be seen not only as a contribution to a body of knowledge, but also to do innovation because there are bigger purposes and situations we want to change. And I assure you, in this presentation, this will be good contribution to your company's wellness. So in the next slide, we talk about innovation. What better way? I just want to give you a wider perspective. Okay, so we talk about innovation. A better way to illustrate it is through our Global Innovation Index ranking, or we call GII. In a wider perspective, when we look at the GII from 2014 to 2019, it shows that our innovation level is steadily increasing. In fact, in 2019, the Philippines significantly increased its ranking from number 73 in 2018 to 54 in 2019, breaking into the top of 55. So this is our first time to be included in the group of innovation achievers due to its remarkable performance in knowledge diffusion and knowledge absorption. Moving on, we did not stop at rank 54. Based on the recent GII ranking, this year, the Philippines now rank 50th among 131 economies in just a span of 6 years. So contributing here are the increase in the innovation activities through the university industry research collaboration, and also shows here that despite minimal R&D budget that is allocated, we still have a significant number of innovation outputs, making Filipinos efficient innovators. So But in spite of our big leap in the rank, the Philippines still presents a number of weak areas. I'm pretty sure you know this, which include ease of starting business, expenditure on education, global R&D companies, scientific and technical articles, and new businesses, among others. So hence, we do not need to stop at rank 50. We need to keep the momentum and accelerate our country's innovation through R&D. And kasama namin kayo doon. Okay? So, in the next slide, in keeping the momentum, okay, perhaps we may need to keep in mind that the role of the research and development needs to evolve. Okay? So here, in the past, first, we used to conduct research to improve teaching and capacity building. We were teacher-centric, and our metrics are university ranking, number of PhDs per university, PRC passing rate, SHED, a Center of Excellence and Development. Okay, and then when you click on that, in the recent past, we used to conduct R&D to contribute to the overall scientific knowledge. It is peer-centric, and our metrics were publications, patents, impact factors, citation H index, and SES. And these are merely more of academic. Okay? But I'm not saying that this is bad. This is the evolution of research. So now, on the next, if we click on that, we are undertaking research as a tool for positive societal change. So it means it is now society-centric, and our metrics are impact assessment, economic gains, number of startups, number of businesses doing R&D. Okay? So with this new role of R&D, we have to have an accelerator. Hindi naman pwedeng nag-evolve yung research and development na role and we don't have an accelerator for that. So jumping on to the next slide, essentially, the Science for Change program, or we call S4CP, was created to accelerate STI in the country in order to keep up with the developments of our time, wherein technology and innovations are game changers. So S4CP has 4 components, which focuses on program expansion in 10 areas, as you can see in my slide, 10 new programs in 5 areas, and a grand plan for S&T human resource development. Moving on, we at DOST is implementing the 4th component of the Science for Change program, which we call the Accelerated R&D Program for Capacity Building of Research Institute and Industrial Competitiveness. This time, kasama na namin yung industry, not just universities. So these are composed of 4 subcomponents, namely the niche centers in the regions for R&D, or we call NICER, R&D Leadership Program, RD LEAD, and we have the Collaborative R&D to Leverage the Philippine Economy for RDIs and Industry Program, or we call CRADLE, and the Business Innovation through S&T for Industry Program, or BIST. So the last 2 are offerings for the private sector. So let me go on briefly to the first 2 programs. The NICER program was established to address disparity in access to R&D funding, as resources are mostly concentrated in the national capital region, in the Mega Manila, and its neighboring regions like Region 4A, 3, 2. Okay? So the program provides grants to the higher education institutions in the region to R&D undertake quality research to promote regional development with their existing capabilities and resources. So the proposed NICER should be unique and it should be collaborative among HEIs. So this time, we are establishing centers not only for research, but it should be contributory to its economic development in the region. The R&D Leadership Program engages R&D experts to lead in strengthening the research capabilities of these universities or research institutions and other government agencies. So we tap local experts and we provide it to those who are in need, agencies who are requesting for RDE. So let me focus on the next two programs. The first one is what we call the Business Innovation through S&T for Industry program. Okay? The program aims to level up the innovation capacity of the Philippine industry sector through R&D. The program provides financial assistance to the private company to acquire technology for research. Okay, I want to highlight it, that it's for research. It could be local or foreign. Okay, so under the program, proposals can be multi-year projects, so it can be from 3 to 5 years. The refund, okay, so this is a financial assistance to private companies, so there should be a refund mechanism. So the refund of the financial assistance shall commence on the 3rd year of the project implementation and shall be for the period of 3 to 5 years, depending on the nature of the technology acquired and the financial capability of the company. Okay? But the good thing here is that for the funding structure, the BIST program, under the BIST program, the DOST will provide 70% of the eligible expense, which will be refunded to DOST at 0% interest. Okay? And the remaining 30% must be sourced by the applicant or the company. So companies who are eligible to apply for the BIST program should be Filipino-owned, operating in the Philippines for at least 3 years. Okay, jumping to the next one. Actually, the BIST program is the most challenging na makapagpa-approve ng proposals, but it's not impossible. Okay, so in the last November 2019, we are happy to announce that we have approved a project under the Herbal industry, which is being implemented by the Urbanex Laboratories Incorporated. They are located in Bagos City, Negros Occidental, and the funding will be used to acquire technology to semi-purify herbal extracts to develop pharmaceutical grades ingredient. Okay? The program or this project, we have approved 11.7 million funding for them, for their R&D initiative. So we are continuously providing this program consultations to companies who wish to avail of the financial assistance under the BIST program. Okay, so next, okay, the last program, let me focus on the CRADLE program. So let me just break it to you in a simpler way on what the CRADLE is. Okay? So in the past, the scenario is that the academe conducts a specific R&D, okay, thinking that the industry needs it. So when I say academe university, but in reality, their output cannot be adopted by the industries because it's not suited to their needs. Okay, so but in CRADLE, we have a different approach in coming up with research and development. So that this time, the industry will identify their problem or industry need, while the universities or research institution will do the R&D to provide solution to that problem or need. Okay, so that's the framework. So take note that the problem must be solvable by R&D. This way, we'll be able to come up with solution that exactly meets the need of the company or the industry. So next slide, how does it work? How does CRADLE work? To simplify it, I have here three process or steps or requirements. So HEI or a university or research institution should partner with at least one Filipino company. Okay? And then second, DOST will provide up to 5 million funding for a period of 1 to 3 years. And the third, so you have partnership, collaboration, and second, you have funding. Okay? The third one is that we only ask two things to the company. We require the partner company to provide 20% counterpart funding, and that could be in kind or in cash. And second is to commit to adopt the technology. So if you do the math, 20% of 5 million is roughly 1 million. It's 1 million. But that could be, you say, of course, if you're a company, 1 million is of course, it's still a big money. There, it could be in cash. You monetize your support to them, like facilities, use of facilities, raw materials, and that, for example, your location, you can do that. So that's in kind. Okay? So now that we know how CRADLE works, in the next slide, the question is why? Why CRADLE? What are the benefits of collaborative research, of collaborative R&D through CRADLE? So first, the research project will be undertaken by experts and experts and researchers. So there will be high chances of success in terms of the conduct of R&D. Second, the DOST will risk share with you. Risk of sharing the risk of the R&D initiatives, as it will provide majority of the funding and only 20% counterpart from the private company. The third, there will be readily adaptable technology, and it will be addressing the need of the company, which could increase their competitive advantage. So we talk about how it works and why you need a CRADLE. Next one is we also have its effect. So we call it the CRADLE Effect. Okay? So with those benefits on R&D collaboration, we also have what we call the CRADLE Effect. These effects are the target outcomes of the academe and industry. So with CRADLE, you will have established partnership, swift technology transfer, and increased competitiveness. Okay? So para lang makita ng mga participants natin that this program is really working, in the next 2 slides, let me show you some of our press releases showing all of you here are the CRADLE, how the CRADLE works, and it works, and there is allotted funding for this collaboration. Okay, so also in the next slide. All right. Okay, so moving on. To date, we have 61 approved CRADLE projects across 16 regions. So remember, we are not focused in the Mega Manila. Anywhere you are, if you're a member of CCIP in any region, you are most welcome to collaborate with us through a university. Okay, we have accumulated approved funding of 277 million. And actually, okay, this is just a short anecdote. In one of our promotional activities, we were approached by the Chamber of Furniture Industry of the Philippines. Sometime, I think it was early February this year. Okay? So we had several meetings with them, and with the help of our technology business incubators, we were able to match with them an appropriate university, and now they have an approved proposal under the CRADLE program. So perhaps in our next call for proposals, we hope to receive some from the CCIP members, member companies, and I know I'm positive about it. Okay, so I'm nearing the end of my presentation. I think this is just 2 more slides. So let me show you this slide. I think this will also be discussed by one of our esteemed speakers today, Dr. Rosalinda Torres of DOST ITDI. She was able to, let me just show you this slide. It's a natural colorants for cosmetics. Dr. Torres was able to develop natural colorants, as mentioned, cosmetics, and with the uptrend of organic materials, the DOST-ITD has been in the forefront of developing natural colorants for the cosmetic industry. So part of the target of this program is to carry out application studies of natural colorants in cosmetics, namely lipstick, blush on, and eyeshadow. Okay, I think Dr. Torres has developed cosmetic products. For example, here are the beetroot lipstick with beetroot and dragon fruit colorant. Those are vibrant colors. Eyeshadow with blue pea colorant, and blush or tint with beetroot colorant, among others. Perhaps with this technology, there will be increased collaboration between the beauty and wellness companies to join the R&D wagon and start collaborating with our experts. Imagine the numerous products that you can do with natural ingredients or natural coloring for that matter. So I say this all the time with all of my presentation. There are two takeaways here from this presentation. One, we need to collaborate. Okay? Let us enhance and strengthen the trust among the government, academe, and private sector companies. And companies must partner with our researchers or universities and undertake R&D to come up with a relevant R&D solution to your needs. Okay? Second, the DOST has funding for R&D collaborations, even to private sector. So tap them, access them, use them to innovate, to increase your company's competitiveness. Okay, business proof your companies and let us make that change happen through research. Who knows, with all this innovation and R&D activities happening in 6 years, in 6 years' time, we might be able to have another big leap in our ranking. And most of our companies here have been upgraded and updated to navigate bravely in the new normal. So I leave you with this last slide. Okay, this is our team. So for queries on the Science for Change program, kindly take note of these contact details. So with that, a pleasant, beautiful morning to all. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Anya. Hi, okay, so very interesting presentation right there, especially the part that connects into our event, which is the beauty and wellness industry. You know, what I really think is that you have to raise more awareness, because as far as I see this research and development strategy, it's a win-win.
Yes.
Isn't it? It's a win-win
Exactly.
because the government is already assisting you, and you have your 3 years return of investment later on anyway, where you could pay. Instead of going to a bank and loaning for my own innovation, I have the DOST right here. And you've received so many grants, like what you said. How much is it? 277 million?
That's for 61 projects.
Right, and that is
million.
in the entirety of your research and development initiative, correct?
Yes. Yes, for each project,
That is
5 million. Yeah.
That is a win-win for me. I just wish that I had an idea right now so I could talk to you. Okay, I have one question for you from our audience. Do you also partner with schools if students have a probable innovation or product of being developed? So young minds at schools.
Okay. Our programs that I have discussed are basically for the experts in the university. So if we have
Mm,
young innovators, we have a separate program for that. A
mhm.
young innovators program, but a different implementing agency, which is a council in the OST. But
Mhm.
yes, we have a program for young innovators. They could shoot me an email. They're in one of our contact details there. I'll be happy to endorse them to the appropriate agency and appropriate contact person. Yeah.
Okay, such a great initiative. Can I just tell you that I want to support it so much? I really do. It's
Yeah.
because especially now in this pandemic, people are scrambling for businesses, right? And I know very young women who are fashionable, but only teenagers who want to get into the makeup business. And like what you suggested, there's a huge trend now about organic and vegan products on makeup. And if the DOST supports that, innovating it with research and development, and let's say you have a teenager, I know they can't really just engage in business right away, but they have their parents to help them anyway, right? So now they have their parents plus the DOST in that initiative, right?
Exactly. And the thing about collaboration, why we partnered them, we have to partner
Mm-hmm.
them with a university or an expert. It's because, as I have mentioned, high chance of success in terms of
Sure,
conducting research. Hindi yung sila
sure.
lang on their own. So, mas maganda yun. High
Right.
chances of
And they
success.
have the support of their university too. That's
Exactly.
like, if you think about it, it's like extra marketing because they'll be famous in the school and the school becomes the initial marketing launch for a target demographic. Oh my goodness. There's so much to talk about. I wish we had more time.
Okay.
Anya, thank you so much. You have a great
No problem.
morning.
You too.
Appreciate it. We will put your presentation. We'll find a way to put your presentation because we have a couple of those questions earlier today asking about where to get the slides. We promise to post them in our channels and they can review it later on for all our audience. Thank you,
Perfect.
Anya, for joining us.
Okay.
Good morning.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.